Want to support us but don't have the money? No worries. If you listen to the podcast using the Radio Public app for iOS or Android devices, you can help us keep the site running at no cost to you. Or if you want to make a one-time gift, you can do so via PayPal. Details under the Help the Site tab on audiodramareviews.com.
Hello, and welcome to the second episode of WWLT. Now, the acronym stands for What We Listened To. I realized that after 2 episodes, that title was more fitting for hopefully obvious reasons. So for the week of June 13th through the 19th, I listened to Marsfall episodes 1 through 4 with an asterisk next bit. I'll explain about that later. And the first 2 acts of 4 Mondays. So I originally listened to the first episode of Marsfall when it first dropped, and remember it being similar to The Martian by Andy Weir. They were both the podcast, the book, and the film were all lighthearted. When I resumed the season with episode 2, I basically was kind of surprised at how philosophical and darker it got. It wasn't bleak or pessimistic like some films in the DCEU, or actually most of them I guess for at this point. But yeah, it reminded me a lot of the Arrow pilot from the CW. A lot of humor to make the characters relatable. After that pilot episode, though, changed pretty quickly. The show, it did. Became darker and grittier like the Dark Knight trilogy was, which is what they're going for, pretty much. So, yeah, that's Marsfall in a nutshell. The 4-act radio play called 4 Mondays is confusing and hard to latch on to any character, any particular plot element or trope or anything like that. By Act 3, however, I knew what was going on better than I did previously, which is a plus, but also a minus that it took that long to get into the story. But more on that in the review of 4 Mondays coming not soon, but next year sometime. Not much to say in this episode. Again, just want to clarify last week's episode that when I said the Bright Session season finale was good but not great, I didn't mean it as an insult. In fact, recently I've been going to movies, and after the first time seeing it, I'm indifferent about it, or sometimes borderline upset about it, or angry about it in some ways. But after a second viewing, I like it a lot better. The most recent examples being Dunkirk, The Last Jedi, and Black Panther. I love the movies now, but when I first watched them, I was like, this is good, but not great. So, once I get down to writing the review of the Bright Session Season 2 in its entirety, I will re-listen to the season finale to see if it maybe holds better than I thought it would, than I thought it did upon first listening. So, that is it for this episode, and thank you for listening, and I will see you on July 1st, or next Thursday actually, for the next episode of What We Listened To.
Hey, Mike Berganza here, founder of Audio Drama Reviews. If you like what you heard, consider following us on Twitter and Facebook, subscribing to our YouTube and SoundCloud channels, and last but not least, our Patreon and iTunes accounts. Links to all those in the episode description.